What up YouTube? Gunner South here again. Gonna do a slightly different video than I've been doing lately. This video is more or less inspired by a video done by Nick Taylor. I guess a couple of videos done by Nick Taylor regarding recoil springs. One of the things that when you get into competition shooting, a lot of guys will tweak and pick a recoil spring for their load. Predominantly, Nick Taylor is talking about recoil springs in the 1911 platform. He has I believe, some sort of version of a 2011 1911, which would be a double stack 1911. His is in 40, but it's still a 5-inch government model. So what I'm about to show you is I'm going to show you these three guns firing in slow-mo. So let's just briefly kind of go into each gun and how it was shot. The first one that we see being shot is the Para 1911 1445 Expert in stainless. I've done 4 or 5 videos on this gun already. I don't think I need to go into much more detail on this. It is a double stack 5-inch government model 1911 style, but it takes 14 rather than 7. Another one of the guns you're going to see in the video is the Glock 41 Gen 4. This is my most recent pickup and current IDPA gun, shooting CDP, at least for the first half of this year. So you're going to see a lot of this gun set up with the beaver tail, Zev sights, Zev springs, and Zev connector currently. In the video it did not have those upgrades. In the video it was bone stock, and that might have something to do with what we saw when we watch it in the video later. And then finally there's a Colt Series 70 Mark IV Mark IV Series 70. This started out as a government model and has been slowly getting transformed as we go along. Beaver tail's been added, hammer's been added, ambidextrous safety's been added, Bomar sight's been added, and then the SDI trigger has been added. Of the three, this has the best trigger on it. I haven't weighed it, but it's probably at around 2 pounds or less. Well, probably 2 pounds. It's definitely a competition trigger. I think right now the Glock 41 is coming in at about 4 or high 3s in there somewhere. And then finally the Para is the only one that hasn't had any trigger work for it, and it's probably coming in at like 4.5, 5. So that's somewhat of a factor. So what's the video about? Well, the video is about muzzle flip, essentially. We're going to be watching these pistols cycle in slow motion in slow motion as fast as I can shoot them. And it looks pretty slow. I was trying to stay on the target. I didn't want to get kicked out by shooting all over the place. So it's kind of a controlled rapid. I wasn't worried too much about accuracy as long as I was on paper. But what we're really interested in watching is the slide action as it cycles. What happens to that slide? More importantly, we're going to watch it come back. We'll watch the recoil hit, and we want to see how long it stays back there. And then we want to watch as it comes back. Does it dip? Does it stay level? Do I get a lot of this, or does it come back and line back up? Ideally, and what I'm trying to get out of this is I'm trying to put a lighter spring up here so that when I watch recoil from my front sight, I want it to come back, and by the time I'm opening my eyes, this slide's coming back down, and I want to be able to break the shot right as the sights line back up. Nick Taylor goes into a lot more detail about this, but we want to watch these sights go up as the recoil you know, acts on the slide, and we want to watch it come back down and be ready to break that second shot right as it lines up. Now, what happens if you have a heavy spring is you'll see the shot come up. You'll break the shot. You'll break the shot. You'll see the sights come up, and it'll cycle so fast that you're actually waiting on it. It'll overcorrect, and then you're going to wait on it to come back up, and you're going to kind of do this number, and you're going to kind of. What we want to do is how at least I want to tune my pistol. This one specifically was I wanted to pull the shot, let a soft enough recoil spring to be in there to where I'm not dipping down too much. I want to just bring it down and be ready right there. Just a boom, 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 boom. And that means if I'm coming up high, that's to me acceptable as opposed to dipping down. Dipping down is much harder to find your front sight. It disappears. I'd rather have this be what I'm looking at so that I can correct down than looking at this and not knowing where my front sight is. So I'm trying to go with a weak spring in the recoil so I can watch it come back down better. That's sort of what this video is there to measure. I'm also seeing a little bit as to which one I handle under recoil better. I'm just interested in your comments on this one. I want to see which of these three you think handled the best. Comment on why you think it would be the best. What's your shooting style? Am I completely off base here? I'll tell you, kind of spoiler, what I think which one of these three shot the best. I think the Para was probably the worst. I think at the time I didn't have a tune recoil spring in it. It's got the heaviest trigger, and I'm shooting 45 out of it. So it was, in my mind, moving the most, dipping the most. It could have even been when I was breaking the shot. You know, I was flinching forward due to an expectation of recoil. So I think I did the worst with the recoil on the Para 1911. I think the flattest coming down after recoil, I think, was the Colt. Honestly, it came down and it seemed to just come right back and stay. I have a 12-pound spring in this one right now, so it is a little bit reduced power, and that's what was in the video. So that's sort of what I'm talking about. I wanted to watch this thing come down and not over. I don't want it to dip. I don't want that recoil spring to slap my hand forward. So I think this gun handled the best, although it's probably as simple as having the lightest trigger. There was probably no right before the trigger broke. So there's certainly that. And then this gun cycled probably the fastest, and honestly at the time it had the factory trigger in it, and man, you just watch this thing go, and then everything else is on me, just kind of like, whoa, what the hell just happened? Did I just fire a shot? I'm excited about the possibility of this gun getting to understand how this thing behaves under recoil. It could be due to the grip angle, right, being a little bit more forward. Can I just handle the recoil better on this thing? I don't know, guys. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm posting these videos. I kind of want to hear what you guys think, and let me know which one you thought handled best going forward. So let me know what you think. We're going to watch each one of them shoot at full speed, and then we're going to watch each of them slow-mo. Also, you can adjust the YouTube video to slow it down further if you really want to analyze it. Thanks a lot, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe and give me feedback, and I will make more videos like this as we try and tune our guns for competition shootings. Thanks a lot, YouTube.
Go. Fire away.